Instinct Kusai.
I'm Jukebox Hero.
I'm Scufflewick, and I'm the pretty one.
Okay, today's episode, we have the lovely Mrs. here today.
Hi.
Hi.
We'll be talking about some new games we've been playing recently. The Samsung Galaxy phone and a little tech news this week, as well as what we're going to want to talk about there, Jukebox, for tech.
Oh yeah, the new Titan and the new Nintendo handheld.
Ooh. And then after that, we're going to be reviewing a couple movies, and then moving on to our main topic this week is board games, and more specifically, our favorites. So, and if you guys haven't picked up, we are trying a new format to our episodes for anybody who's actually listened to us before.
Yeah, so when you see those time codes that say go here to listen to this, you'll actually have something to go to listen to.
Yeah, not just me being like, hey, this might be interesting. Go to this time code.
Yeah.
So to start off, I'll go first. This week, I finally got a chance to play video games in the longest while because, school, and that takes up all my time. But I'm finally free. So I finally took a recommendation from Jukebox, and I started playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. And if you guys don't know what that is, it's, I'm going to assume you know what Yu-Gi-Oh! A trade carding game. And this is on your phone. It came out this past year in November, and it's made by Konami. Honestly, I like it. Initial response, what I initially thought it was going to be was your generic Yu-Gi-Oh! Game, but with a few little tweaks. You can't, like other Yu-Gi-Oh! Games, you can't input your card number in and get that card. And instead of 5 slots on the board, there's only 3. So that's not much of a thing, but there's a lot of cool things, like you can play online with people, which is actually kind of awesome, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, and
I like that they're sticking.
They recently added duel rooms, so you can create a room and invite people to duel you.
Yeah, it's in beta, right?
Yeah, so rather than just having like friend battles or whatever, you could like go on Twitch, set up a room, and all your followers could join in the room and do like tournament style stuff.
Which is awesome, to tell you the truth, and I'm liking the setup of it. It kind of it's still sticking to like the old graphics and all that, but I kind of like how they have this like 2D kind of thing floating above the card. I like that you can sort of trade in the cards in the game, but not with other players, but with this weird dude.
Yeah, the card trader.
From the card trader.
There's literally a card of him.
Yeah.
How about that?
I'm a little confused about the currency in the game, but...
Oh, the gems?
Not the gems. That I get. That's like you can buy packs. That's the gold coins.
Oh, okay. So with the coins, when you go to the card trader, he'll have a set amount of cards that he will trade you, and you have to trade the coins and extra items to get those cards.
Yeah, because I haven't actually used him. I just like the idea that you can trade with him, but I haven't actually got anything off of him yet.
Yeah, I usually just get like the cheapest thing that's like 2,500 coins, so I can get the weekly mission or whatever for trading with the card trader.
Something I am liking about it is they haven't gone too far into the cards, like the generations. Like it's not like all the recent stuff. It's more closer to the original.
Yeah.
Stuff I grew up with from Yu-Gi-Oh.
So
I'm sorry.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
But I lost interest in.
They kind of did what Pokemon Go did there, where they not necessarily rebooted, but revitalized the old franchise to kind of get the older people back into it. So all of the cards right now are from probably like the first 4 years that the game was released in North America. So we still haven't even reached like the elemental heroes yet.
Yeah, that's kind of where they lost me, is the elemental heroes.
Yeah, and so we don't have any white cards, we don't have any black cards. It's just spell, trap, monster, effect, fusion, ritual.
Yeah. Ooh, and I also should mention with the game mechanics, they've added that it wasn't originally in a lot of the games, but in any of the games, but they eventually added it was if it's anything over if it's 5 stars and up, you have to start tributing stuff to summon the monster. Which in the original games you didn't have to do that. So
that's where you don't tribute is kind of like easy mode.
Yeah.
It's always been that you had to tribute if you ever read the rules back in the day. It's just
I know in the actual card game
didn't.
Oh, I know in the actual card game you did, like the actual like physical, but in the video games you never had to sacrifice anything. There was no setting to change. It's just you never had to. Yeah.
Easy mode for North America. It's like Mega Man and Final Fantasy where they just nerfed it for us.
I can't remember what it's called, but the first video game of Yu-Gi-Oh! I played was on the PlayStation.
Ooh, that game's getting up there in price now.
I still have it.
It's worth about 50 Canadian dollars if it's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, retained all its value.
And I picked it up for on a sale for $20.
Nice.
So it's now what you're saying is a little more than doubled its value for me.
Yeah, more or less.
I can't complain about that. I wouldn't. I actually like playing it. I if I can get my original PS3 there working so I can play it again, I'd probably run through the campaign again.
I don't know if you ever want to play it next time you're over. I have like 3 PS1s.
Ooh. I'll have to pull it out.
Yeah.
Other than that, yeah, no. Overall, I think it's a good game, and I would actually recommend it for people who are fans of Yu-Gi-Oh. It plays well. Yeah, a couple of things are a little different, but overall it's a good game, and it's pretty accurate to the actual card game as far as I'm concerned for something on the iPhone. A lot more accurate to the game than, say, Pokemon Go.
Yeah, but they did that on purpose.
Well, I think they wouldn't have got their audience back if they completely changed it up like Pokemon did.
And Mrs., I'm pretty sure this is the one game that you've been playing lately.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hatched a Grimer last night.
Ooh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anyone in our group has a muck yet.
I don't either.
No.
You guys are all way ahead of me on Pokemon Go.
Yeah. Your
I
mom's
have a bunch
insane.
of Grimers, but only 34 Grimer candies, so...
Well, I mean, that's not too bad. Stick it as your buddy. That's like, what, 42 kilometers of walking?
I have Eevee as my buddy because I want that black one again. I want it to be one of my top Pokemons.
Yeah.
So...
With the evolutions, Umbreon usually has the lowest CP, regardless of how high your Eevee was.
Yeah.
So like if I had two 700 Eevees and one turned into Vaporeon and one turned into Umbreon, the Vaporeon would be like 2,200, the Umbreon would be like 1,600.
Yeah, the one I have is only 800 and something, so if I get above 1,000, I'm happy because then I can just do that thing.
The thing?
Where you make it better.
Oh,
where you do what?
Yeah, power up.
Now, I've got to ask a couple of questions because I know this might help. But before you got the game, when you were waiting to get, were you actually excited to play Pokemon Go, or was it just like, I'll try it?
I did not want to play it at all because I thought it was just one of those things that everyone does and then they just forget about it, and that it wouldn't actually be interesting to me. But then my mom and my brother were playing it constantly, and I was like, well, I guess if I want to hang out with you guys, I have to download it so I can fit in.
And now you're addicted.
I am not addicted. My mother, on the other hand, is.
Okay. Your mom's addicted. You are like addicted, like mildly. You almost click on that thing every day. I don't think you've gone a day where you haven't opened up that app.
Yes, I have.
You just don't like, oh god, I have to go out and get this now. Like your mom is. Your mom like goes on a daily circle around town getting her Pokestops.
Okay, if we need milk, what should take 20 minutes to drive to the store, get milk, and come back turns into 2 hours of driving around the town getting Pokestops. Every single time.
What do you think is going to happen to your mom if they ever like discontinue the game?
She'll find something new.
She's not going to go through Pokemon withdrawal, you know?
I'm sure we all will. I mean, the game's been out. The game's been out for what, 9 months or something now.
Yeah, it's going on 9 months.
So we only have 2 generations. There's what, 8? I think 8.
Yeah.
I can't remember what Sun and Moon is. 7 or 8.
And they still haven't put out all the futures that they've promised. So like we still don't have
trading,
player to player battling
or legendaries.
So, yeah. So like it's gonna be around for a while, and the fact that people are still playing it, still loving it, it's gonna be around a while. Now, the missus, I have a question. What's your favorite aspect of the game? What's your favorite thing to do in it? Or is it your little Pokemon buddy? Is it going to the Pokestops? Is it going to Pokemon events?
I just like hatching the eggs. It kind of gives me a goal when I'm walking.
That's a pretty good goal. That's like half of what they envisioned when they put the game out, is they just wanted to get people to go outside and walk.
Oh,
yeah.
Walk? What are you talking walking? I go out on my bicycle.
No, you don't.
I did this past summer. I kind of stopped when winter hit. Your sister would fall asleep because she had to work the next morning, and I would pull my bike out off the balcony, and I would go up and down the streets, going to all the Pokestops.
Well, they kind of added a speed limit on now, so that probably won't work anymore unless you go really slow.
I can do that. They had the speed limit before, but even when they put the speed limit on, I was fine as long as I wasn't trying to keep up with cars.
Well, no, see, the thing is they increased, or rather decreased what the speed limit is. And if you go above it, it's like, are you a passenger? And then you say yes, but it still assumes you're in a car until you pretty much stop moving for a set amount of time.
Okay, I should be fine. I usually go up and down the sidewalks and there's people on it, so I kind of have to,
You're not supposed to.
Shh.
Like, I'm pretty sure there's bylaws against it. There are bike lanes. Like...
Hey. When the place we live, I won't mention where we live, finally puts out proper bicycle lanes, my butt will be on the road. I don't need to be almost hit by the drivers. I think we can all agree with that. And the fact is that I can, even though I don't ride my bicycle that much anymore, the fact that I can come to a complete stop and not have to put my foot down, I don't think I'm going to run into anybody. So I think I'm good. So what overall impression of the game? Would you recommend it? Is it glowing review?
Well, everyone already plays it.
I know.
And if they don't, it's because they did and lost interest.
Yeah, after about a week of catching Pidgeys, it's kind of hard to give a shit unless you really like Pokemon.
I do. I only stopped because I can't. It got boring walking from my school back to my house, from my school back to my house. So there's not much Pokemon along the way between my house and my class. So
it's a lot more than what we get.
Yeah, you're out in a small town, a very small town.
Yeah,
you know,
city. We've been over this.
Yeah, so let's move on before you have to edit stuff out. So moving on, our next thing is tech news. So I'll go first again. I've been looking forward to the Samsung Galaxy S8. And
why?
More so the S8 Plus.
Why?
Because for one, my phone is I have the Samsung not the Note 7 but the
Note 5.
The Note 5.
Okay.
And I was gonna get the Note 7 until I noticed it was gonna start blowing up, because big issue with the Note 5 is there's no expandable memory.
What's the memory start at?
Like 8 gigs.
Really?
Yeah.
Weird, because like I have the S4 and it starts at 16.
I think it's 8. I have the 32, but I have filled that 32 gigs right up. I constantly have to delete shit and make room.
I think
But
that's
you're
more.
a hoarder.
I think that's more of a management issue than anything.
Well,
You hoard useless pictures and videos. You have 5 pictures of the same thing, but you don't delete 4 of them.
Anyways, but I'll point out I should have held out for the 64 gig version of the S5, because I used to have the iPhone 5 at 64 and I never ran out of space on it. So I think I just needed that little bit more room, and the fact that I can't just pop in a 2 gigabyte SD card to expand it on the S5 kind of was like, eh. Other than that, they're pretty much, in my opinion, a very similar phone, just better components in the S8, and it looks a little more sleeker.
So what's exciting you for the S8 so much that you're going to upgrade to it instead of, say, the S6, which you can probably get for like half the price once it comes out?
You like spending money.
I just like new things. Plus, then I keep my phones for a very long time. This is probably the closest I'm getting a new phone. Is from the S5 to the S8 is probably the soonest I've ever got rid of a phone. So.
Yeah, but didn't you get that thing like literally a year ago?
Just shy of 2.
Okay.
Usually I keep them for 3 or 4. So.
Let's see if the battery holds out that long.
Well, and yeah, that's about the only reason why I've ever got rid of phones, is I wait until the battery's just absolutely not working. I'll deal with all the battery issues up until the point where it's okay. No, it's not even gonna let me turn the phone on.
See, I'm still on the S4, and I actually had to replace my battery recently because of how bulbous it was getting from overheating. But like, I'm a little scared because they're out of, like, they don't make them anymore. They're out of production. So it's gonna get more difficult to get these batteries. So
you're going to say it's eventually...
So yeah, there's only 2 reasons why I'm ever going to upgrade this. 1 is they don't have batteries anymore. Or 2, it literally just dies.
Yeah.
Because the only other issue I could ever have is if the operating system advances to a point where they no longer support whatever I'm on. I think it's Lollipop. Because if we reach that point and I want to use like Facebook on my phone or something and it literally won't open, then it's a problem. But like if the iPhone 2 is any indication, that it'll be several years before that happens.
There's a couple other things that I wouldn't mind. Like it has a new operating system now, so which is something I wouldn't mind having, is trying something a little more up to date. But the other thing is that I know it sounds weird that for one I mismanage my memory storage, but I've always wanted to have expandable memory storage, and the fact that the Note 5 doesn't, and even if I had 64, I've always wanted to be able to pop an extra gig and take photos when we're, say, like we had our honeymoon last summer, and it would have been nice to not have to constantly go set and delete photos, where I could have just saved them all to like a 256 gig card and then deal with them afterwards without taking up.
But also, I don't know if you remember this, but I just deleted all the videos off of my phone from that, because you would record the entire trip. Like, we'd be driving for hours, and he has it all recorded.
I'm a bit of a...
Oh, God.
He ran out of room on his phone and started recording on my phone.
I did the same thing when we went back in 2008 when me and my family went to Hawaii. They let me handle the camcorder we had, and I think I have something like 72 hours of solid video.
Distinct. Stab.
He has this thing. He doesn't like taking pictures of people. He likes taking pictures of scenery, but you can only take so many pictures of one spot. But also,
no,
the
that one leaf
countryside,
isn't in the picture yet.
at one point, all starts looking the same.
Not to me, that's the problem.
Get your eyes checked. So how about we move on to my news?
Well, I will say before we go, the other thing that's drawing me to the S8 is the fact that it looks like it won't be exploding.
We can hope, because you remember with the S7, they're like, oh, we fixed it, and then they didn't actually fix it.
Yeah, because I'll just leave off in saying this. The others, everything else, as far as like the specs aren't that much different from my own, because they haven't improved that much. It's just I really want that expandable memory. Maybe the little better camera that comes with it, because they do have that dual pixel camera on it now. So, and then I'll leave that off. That's yes.
Have either of you seen the new 2DS XL?
I've seen pictures of it, notes of it. I haven't actually taken a look at it myself yet.
Have you seen the original 2DS? Either of you?
Yes, and I have.
Mrs.?
No.
No?
Yeah, no.
Okay, so the original 2DS is same functionality as a 3DS, but without the 3D slider, so all your games are in 2D. And it was a single uniblock, I guess, where the two screens were above each other and you couldn't fold it closed or anything. So the new 2DS XL is still a 2DS, but now you can close it, so you can flip it closed. That's really... the screens are bigger, but that's the only new feature, is that you can close it.
That's the old one?
The new one.
Right?
The new one is
I'm
the
just
one
showing
that
her.
closes.
I'm just showing her the old one versus the new one, and that's the new one. So you see, old one is a solid thing, you can't fold it.
Oh, I like the new one.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah. That's the reason why I didn't like the old one. I'm like, okay, I get it. It's different because it only does 2D. It doesn't do the 3D. But why does it have to be a solid, not folding in half?
Well, see, that was partially so they could save money and put it at its really low price point they had it at, and partially because that thing is a brick. They made that specifically for children. So, because especially since children with developing eyes aren't supposed to be using the stereoscopic 3D anyways, aren't supposed to be using this, and they put it in a more solid block, so the kids were less likely to break it in half, less likely to break the screens, but they could still play their games. So I thought that was a wonderful idea, and like the premise of it was great, but now they've kind of undone most of that by making the screens bigger targets and making it foldable so it can break in half. And I'm not sure if they did that for... so they could kind of expand upon the new DS lineup, and new in quotations because that's how they named them, or if it's literally just for, older people who don't want to use the 3D but don't want to pay full price for a 3DS XL. Because
that might be it too.
The 2DS XL price point is 149 Canadian, I think. And the 3DS is 240. Yeah. So that's a pretty significant difference for just cutting out 3D.
I get the money saving thing, and I get what you're getting at for like the old one wouldn't break because it's a solid bit. But the only age group that I could see like smashing and folding, like breaking their DS is probably below 6 years old. I don't know if they should be playing around with DSs that much anyways. Well, I have little cousins that have put the original DS and every iteration up to the 2DS through the ringer, and they haven't managed to split them in half yet.
Some kid is going to lose his game and just snap it in half.
Yep.
Well, in that case, it's the kid's fault for being an idiot, not that the thing couldn't handle up to a kid. Somebody was purposely trying to break it.
Literally every original DS that I've ever found is cracked in some way, because it's shit folding, and it was given to kids. Even my best buddy, because he got his when he was like 12, his is broken in half. The second one he got is broken in half. His brother's is broken in half. They do not fucking last. I don't care what your friends did, but those things do not last. Just look up.
Didn't?
Just seriously, just search up old articles from like 2006, 2007. You'll find a shit ton. It's like the same with the fucking wrist strap with the Wii, like the wrist strap's breaking. Same shit, but with a folding screen.
Okay, maybe my cousins weren't as roughneck as I want. Like my cousins had all had theirs, right? Even the similar kind of DS that you have, that pink one you have. And some that the original DS. And Ben, when I stopped playing my DS and bought another one, I gave it to Ben when he was about like 10 in it, and it survived him passing it around to all his friends, and I got it back and it still runs.
Well, it doesn't break just by touching it. You have to do something to it to actually break it. But you give it to a 10-year-old and you give it to a 20-year-old. That 10-year-old's much more likely to leave it laying face down, open on the couch, and have someone sit on it than the 20-year-old.
And that might be why nobody ever left it folded open. Ben was pretty good, and his friends were pretty good for closing it when they were.
Several people left it open, or else it would have never broken.
It's not broken. I mean, like other people, but ours isn't broken. So, like I said, I eventually got it back, and it's still in one piece. It's been through multiple kids.
You know what?
I'm just saying, my personal experience, it never broke.
We're moving on.
Because, we'll move on.
Because Nintendo has the stupidest fucking naming scheme, calling everything new. There's a new winner for stupidest fucking naming scheme, and it goes to Nvidia for the Titan XP. Not the one you're thinking about, the new one.
I know. So, I remember hearing about this.
So there was the Titan, and these are like their top of the line GPUs for the enthusiast grade market, so gamers and whatever else. So they had the Titan, then they had the Titan X, and for people to distinguish the two, they called it the Titan XP, because the Titan was on the Maxwell architecture and the Titan X was on the Pascal architecture. So people were already calling one a Titan XP. They came out with a new one, which Nvidia titled the Titan XP, to which everyone else had to go, the Titan PP, the Titan number 2, the Titan P2, Titan PP. I mean, just all these stupid fucking names because they just had to name it something that people were already calling the last generations.
Yeah, I'm going to point out, we should just stick to the old movie format for naming things. If they should have done is you have the Titan, then you came up with another one slightly different, Titan 1, Titan 2, Titan 3. None of this like XP, XPPP, you know, like, yeah, I get what you're getting at. They need to do something simpler.
The next one's going to be called Titan Vista.
Fuck off.
And then Titan 7.
Oh, like, I don't know. Like, I'm going to point out Microsoft has had some weird naming schemes for their, like, we're at Windows 10, what happened to Windows 9? Like, fuck.
Well, they
Vista,
skipped
Millennia, 2000.
They skipped right past 9 because they wanted to distance themselves as far away from the failure that was 8.
See, honestly, me personally didn't mind 8 too much. It's just they made something that was a little too universal and tried pushing touchscreens a little too much. So, I didn't overall mind it. It's not as bad as Vista. You can never tell me how Vista was good. Vista was shit.
Actually, I liked Vista, so there you go. I only have one more thing to say about the XP is Nvidia. They give themselves such a massive boner every time they get to say world's fastest GPU, which they haven't had any contenders for several years in that regard. So literally they're just jerking themselves off every time they get to say world's fastest GPU, because they came out with the 1080 Ti and then just weeks later they come out with the Titan XP. And it's just like, the new world's fastest. And we're like, okay, great, but if you say it 3 times a month, no one's gonna really care anymore.
Yeah, wait until you have a significant, break to be like, oh my god, we're the fastest.
Yeah.
Or wait until you have a bigger gap between your power between your last one and your newest one.
Well, the Titan XP is fairly significant improvement upon the Titan X. But, I mean, they must have someone working there where every time they walk into work, they have that little calendar, and it's like blank days since world's fastest. And every few weeks they get to reset it back to 00.
Yeah. So, I guess then we'll
No,
leave.
I have news.
Oh, yes. Oh, sorry.
The missus has news.
The missus has news? Tech news?
Yeah, I googled it because I actually wanted to be in on your conversation. I don't actually have tech news, but I found a news article that just kind of made me laugh. SpaceX successfully launches top secret spy satellite.
Yes, the first military thing.
Do you guys remember when top secret spy stuff was actually top secret and not in the news?
I don't remember that because it was top secret and I didn't know about it. I mean, what?
I'm going to point out. I'm going to point out. We're talking about American top secret. Their secret service that has been known to the public since before the Cold War. Like, how secret service can it be? The CIA has been internationally, people have been aware of it and that it exists. Whereas, give an example, we're Canadian. People didn't even know we had one. The Canadians knew we had one. But if you asked anybody outside Canada, this Canada's secret service, what they have a secret service? What? They have a history of not being top secret. Most of their top secret, hell, Area 51. You think they'd keep that under wraps and everybody flipping knows where that is? They just now and they have to bump up their security. So it doesn't surprise me that top secret news ends up in the news in America, and that's about as much politics as I'll ever mention on this show. It's just that they don't hide shit. They're Americans.
You know, SpaceX is owned or was created by Elon Musk, the same guy who created Tesla and what else. But I'm pretty sure he's just slowly working his way into world domination.
And honestly, I wouldn't mind if he was, 'cause,
I don't know, if he can give us a AA type battery that lasts for 12 years, I'm fine with it too.
Yeah, if he suddenly does that and then announces that he wants to run for world supremacy, I'd vote. I'd say yeah.
In the meantime, he can just spy on us with his satellite.
His super secret satellite.
Yeah,
Don't tell anyone.
I wonder if it's some sort of magic trick. He's like, super secret mission here. The actual thing he doesn't want anybody paying attention to is happening somewhere else.
It's currently launching from Antarctica.
Or that new space launch that's getting built here in Canada.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, they're building a thing here, so we won't have to launch our own. Won't have to launch our spaceships down in the U.S. anymore.
Cool.
Or our satellites. We'll be able to do it here.
We'll be able to send a leg to the International Space Station.
I mean, we have room for a space station.
Yeah,
the launch thing here.
Yeah, we don't have to build it off on some small little island. We have enough open space where nobody's near.
Yeah.
Just build it up in Nunavut, We'll watch after it.
That kind of makes me wonder, though, if they could do it somewhere so cold. Or
I think they're doing it out in
build it.
It's out in the Maritimes.
Okay, so they're still sticking it on an island.
Well, no, they're just doing it out east but we don't have to. As I'm saying, I think they're sticking it out there, but just because they were the first ones to. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I think they were just trying to I think they must have put up a bid of some sort and put it out east. So plus a lot of the things that go on in that go out east anyways. So it wouldn't surprise me if they were going to put space related stuff out there.
They're probably trying to make jobs because I'm pretty sure the east is kind of that
as well. That's probably plays into. We have the oil.
So
they have
something there.
Well, we have a lot of people coming out from Newfoundland, PEI.
Yeah, they're all coming here because there's no work there.
But there's no work here.
There's more work here than there is out there, and you don't get put on Pogey as often here as you do out east. Not saying anything bad about east, but that's like a daily life. When the fishing season's done, you're on Pogie. So I can see if they wanted to start creating jobs. What about for the people that don't want to fish? They need jobs. Not everybody likes fishing.
They can fill the potholes.
Okay, all the potholes are out here, too.
No.
Yeah.
The ones in Newfoundland will literally eat your car. The ones here are like speed bumps to them.
We just have more of them. We make up for them in quantity for what we make up in what we lack in size. No, yeah. I'm surprised that he's pushing the space thing, like especially into the military. I thought he was going to stick more to like the private sector for like companies wanting to launch satellites and people wanting to go into space. I didn't think he would move into anything military. Actually, I'm actually kind of surprised he has.
Well, it's a super secret space satellite, so maybe he's gonna sell the secrets to people in the private sector.
He's basically done what happened in Captain America: Civil War. He's basically made a satellite that you can just spy and attack people. And he just was more successful at it than the villains in that movie.
Oh,
it was like the Civil War. That was Captain America. Was it Civil War or was it the first? Yeah, it was Civil War. Anyways, yeah.
Well, maybe the missus can tell us because she watched recently, right?
Tell us about that.
Finally got around to watching it.
Oh yeah. Now, why did you watch it?
It's on my list.
Tell the viewers what your list is.
I have a list of 365 goals to complete in the year. And one of them is watch the top 100 movies of 2016. And Captain America: Civil War was one of them.
I'm amazed they could actually compile a list of 100 from a single year. I feel by the time you got to number 100, it would kind of be like, what else came out? Yeah, I mean, the one guy said it was good. Pick that one too.
I'll point out it's not movies from this year, it's the top movies of the year. So like not of the year, but this that have been voted
like
on.
the most popular from Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Because
and it's
it
up
changes.
to date to 2016.
Yeah.
No, the list is all 2016 movies.
Oh, I thought it was other movies because you told me it was.
I have
quit
like
fucking
5
confusing me.
She's confusing me because she's watched movies from like the 1910s on this fucking list. That
Okay.
did not.
Because I have like 5 different list items that are movie related.
Oh.
So there's like the top 100 movies of all time, the top 100 horror movies, top 100 music and art ones.
And then the top of this year.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Okay. See, I don't have a list. I just watch movies.
I kind of doubt it'll actually be on any of those lists, but if the Studio Ghibli film Ocean Waves is on there, I recently bought that. I haven't watched it yet, but it was unreleased in North America until now.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And was it good? What is it called again?
I haven't watched it yet. It's called Ocean Waves.
I didn't know they had put out another Studio Ghibli movie.
It's from 1993. It was never released in North America.
Oh, okay, that's why I haven't heard of it. Do you know why they didn't release it here until now?
From what I know, it's a short film. That's about the only indication I ever got of why. Because they do a lot of smaller things because they are a studio. They have to have other work than just their movies, but some of it's not as important.
I don't.
This isn't fucking Marvel where everything is massive and everyone knows about everything.
Well, I know, but I would just figure with Studio Ghibli, everything pre-2000s has been dubbed and sent over here.
Well, now it's here.
Considering it's popular. Just considering the popularity of the thing. So, but back to the missus. Tell us about Captain America: Civil War. The third iteration movie of Captain America.
I haven't watched the other Captain America movies.
Oh, hold on. Did you feel like you had enough context to get what was going on? Or did you kind of have to wait till like halfway before things started piecing together?
I kind of had enough context because I don't care about spoilers, so I'll go look up the movie before I watch it.
Got it.
Or I'll go look up like what happened in the other ones that I missed.
Oh, okay. Well, considering that, when looking up spoilers before you watched the movie, was the movie what you thought it was going to be, or was it completely different considering you looked up the spoilers beforehand?
I didn't look that much into it.
But was it different, or was it what you expected?
I didn't expect it to be as humorous as it was. Like, I found that I actually laughed at a couple bits, and I didn't think I was going to, because, like, superhero movies are, like, they're not comedies, they're superhero movies.
With the exception of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Which is all humor.
And Ant-Man.
I haven't seen that one.
Ant-Man is good. It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
So let me ask a question. If you found humorous parts, did you see that one that they put out as a... People loved it before the movie came out because they put it out in a teaser. Is the scene where everybody's trying to pick up Thor's hammer? Did you like that scene?
That was not in the movie.
That was at the beginning of the movie.
Was that?
Yeah.
You mean the missus?
Yeah, it's the missus. It was at the beginning of the movie, missus.
Because Thor wasn't in the movie.
Now I'm getting my movies mixed up, I bet you anything.
You're thinking of Age of Ultron, Avengers 2.
Yes! It's happened. There's so many Marvel... See, I love comic books, but they're putting out so many so tightly close storylines that I get confused. Honestly. And I will point out, I don't know why Captain America Civil War was actually just a Captain America specific movie, considering it involves the whole Avengers.
It doesn't, though. Hulk and Thor aren't in it.
They're the only two that aren't in it, though. They have Ant-Man.
Spider-Man.
They have Spider-Man. They have the Black Panther.
That was probably my favorite part, was fucking the unveiling of like Peter Parker.
Yeah.
And every movie to have Spider-Man to come out just seems to have a younger and younger aunt.
Yeah, I'm waiting until she's the same age as Peter Parker.
I mean, now that he's kind of in the lexicon of Marvel movies with the new Marvel universe, I'm sure they'll make a standalone Spider-Man movie.
Oh, they are already.
Yeah.
He's getting his own movie, and it's the same actor and everything. And Tony Stark is in it.
Because we haven't had enough Spider-Mans in the past, 10 years?
Spider-Man launched Nickelback's career. Spider-Man is the devil.
Okay, hey. Nickelback is not that bad.
We're getting a phone call. I'll be back in a moment.
While he's gone, Nickelback is not bad. Point out the song from Spider-Man 1 with Tobey Maguire. Anyways, you know how I'm talking about the original Spider-Man movie that we all know, not the one from the 70s or the Japanese one, but the one with it uses Nickelback. That song was good. Okay, give credit where it is due.
They overplay it because it's CanCon, and
I'm not saying they're the best band in the world, but come on. Give them credit. I've heard some very stupid reasons for not liking Nickelback, including one that he supposedly ripped off. He's faking his singing voice. He's emulating another singer from the 80s. I'm like, the only thing these two artists, I can't remember the other person's name. He's from the 80s, and I can't remember his name. The only similarities I found is that they both have rough singing voices. I'm like, but other than that, their music styles aren't anything similar. It's like complaining that Taylor Swift has a similar singing voice to another actor, another singer. So, but I get they are a little repetitive sometimes. But that's you hear Nickelback comes on and it's a Nickelback song. It could be a brand new one that just came out yesterday. You didn't know it was coming out.
They're just overplayed.
Yeah.
I just realized my microphone was still muted.
The whole time?
Yeah. Full disclosure, I like Nickelback. Or at least Silver Side Up and Dark Horse.
So your mic was muted the whole recording?
No, since I got up for the fucking phone call.
Okay, okay, because I was like, oh god, I was like, yeah. So you like Nickelback then, okay? You like
enough. I was saying for everyone else, it's a joke. God damn it.
Okay. I've just we live where Nickelback originated.
Yeah.
So you know we hear the bitching a little more than most places would hear bitching about Nickelback. So, and I've heard a wide variety of weird reasons for not liking. If you don't like him, just say you don't like him. Don't say he's shit, because they're all right. I'm not saying they're like AC/DC or anything like that. But
that's funny because that's like the biggest comparison. Because that's half the reason why everyone hates them. It's like all of them, like they have a distinct sound that's in every single song, and they sing about sex, drugs, and rock and roll, and that's about it. Same arguments were for our AC/DC back in the 80s. They were like the biggest fucking thing for a while, and everyone had those same arguments.
Just not to get too off guard, but can I point out I do love Santana's collaborative song with Chad Kroeger. So, just gonna point out the Santana. When you mix Santana and Chad Kroeger together, you get magic. Just gonna point out. And now we can move on to my movie review here. My movie talk.
I just received a very strange email.
Well, let's hear about that before I can move on. What kind of email is this, huh?
Well, I have the feeling my spam filter didn't catch it, but it's, hi, insert my name here. It looks like you're having trouble logging into Facebook. Just click the button below and we'll log you on. Jesus Christ. Yeah. I'm logged into Facebook and I have it to remember me. I haven't had to log into Facebook for like a year.
See, I don't do the save my passwords.
Oh my god, this is the greatest. The address. Support. One Hacker Way. Menlo Park, California.
They're not even trying.
Yeah, they're not even fucking.
They're not even.
We laugh, but your grandma would probably click on it.
Yeah, my grandma's 95.
Grandma probably would.
My grandma's in her 90s. She barely understands.
She'd call one of you first to be like, should I click on this? And you would tell her no, and she'd still do it.
Oh god, I'm so entertained by the fucking address. Like, I've seen some fucking Nigerian prince shit. But this is wonderful. Actually, you know what? It may have gotten through the spam filter because the email address is at Facebook Mail.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we'll get to my movie review though. The last movie I watched, which happens to be
Turn off your fucking phone.
I turned it on, and I guess a lot of people were trying to get a hold of me.
I hate your ringtones so much.
Okay, I give personalized ringtones to everybody I know. That way when they text or call me, I know who they are.
Yes, your dad's pisses me off. I know I will not listen to your mother's. Just change them.
My mom's text tone for when she texts me is, hey, listen, from Ocarina of Time. So yeah, I mean, sorry, the missus doesn't like that because, well,
they're annoying as hell.
Yes.
So the last movie I watched was Pets. Do you guys remember this movie?
Nope. Does it have any relation to the shitty Ubisoft games for the DS?
Thank God, no.
Okay.
No. Sorry. Sorry. I mixed up the title a little bit. It's The Secret Life of Pets, 2016.
Is that a DreamWorks one?
The Illumination Entertainment, Universal Pictures.
Close enough.
So the premise of this movie is kind of funny. It's basically what your pets do when you're not home.
Sleep.
It's an animation for kids. It has Louis C.K. voicing it as the character named Max, and him getting jealous of a new dog his owner brings home called Duke, and them getting into hijinks throughout the whole movie. It's funny. It's entertaining. It relies on plot holes that only children wouldn't notice, but it's still entertaining. I would, honestly, it's a fairly funny movie. There's some good things of sense of humor in it, but if I wouldn't recommend it to somebody who likes really serious movies, or even ones that if you're nitpicking on plot holes and things not making sense, then it's not for you. But if you're like, hey, I want to watch a movie with my kid that won't make me want to scratch my eyes out, I would recommend it.
I don't know, because we saw it in the theaters, and before I went to see it, I was like, oh man, this could be a really good movie. But then I saw it and I was really disappointed.
Okay, it's still not the worst children's movie out there.
It's not, but it was disappointing.
Well, that's because you hyped it up, I think, a little bit.
I think I saw the trailer.
No, I think they put everything in the trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing nowadays. I used to love watching trailers, but I don't know, I'm almost afraid to watch trailers because I'm like, is this just going to ruin the movie for me? So, but, I still end up watching the movies. I still end up loving them, so.
I think I saw the trailer for Secret Life of Pets, and I kind of felt just from watching the trailer that the best parts were probably in it.
They were.
It kind of goes back to the conversation we had before about trailers and stuff, and we kind of mentioned that kids' trailers, the kids probably either forget or want to see the funny part again or something.
Yeah.
Because this movie obviously wasn't necessarily for people in our age group.
Yeah, and I don't mind when they do it with kids' movies. My big nitpick is when they do it with ones that are fully expected to be adult movies. Like, hey, it's 18A, but we've shown you all the best scenes in the trailers and the teasers. You might as well not even come watch the movie. We even revealed the ending to the movie in the trailers. You just didn't know it was the ending. It's like, oh. So, I won't knock this movie for doing that because it is a kids' movie. So, kids, you can give movies, you can give a little leeway on showing all the best scenes. Kids won't care. So, kids will watch the same movie 30, 50, 60 times in a row and still love it every single time.
Yeah, I think I watched the SpongeBob movie about 120.
So yeah,
every day for a really long time.
And the only thing I've done that with, if I rewatched the Firefly TV series 6 times in a row. That's the only thing I've done as an adult that maybe was on par with a child. So, but what about you, Jukebox? Any movies other than Ghost in the Shell you've seen recently?
Nap.
What? Okay. Let me ask this:
the last one I probably saw before that was Frankenstein, which I watched with the missus, and then The Bride of Frankenstein, which is so stupid because the bride doesn't show up till the end, and they don't actually get married. She fucking screams at him.
Yeah.
And then, just like it ends.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so stupid. I'd say spoiler warning, but the movie is literally 70 years old.
I think there's a time limit on thing. I think once you go past a year or two, I think if you haven't seen a movie that's a couple of years old, it's your own fault. And if you're disappointed that somebody revealed spoilers for a movie that old as the Frankenstein is and The Bride of Frankenstein, you have issues.
Here's the thing about spoilers, because I'm ridiculous when it comes to being spoiler free, is it doesn't matter how old something is. If you haven't seen it and you have any intention or want to see or play it, and someone spoils it for you, it's a spoiler.
But there's a time limit to how upset you can be about it. Now, if somebody's walking out of the theater... Well, sort of. Like, you can't... If something's, like, 10 years old and somebody's, like, talking about their favorite episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and you don't sound like, whoa, I haven't seen any Buffy and I want to. It's your own fault. But
well, okay,
if you're walking,
but, like, there's things 10 years old that I probably didn't even know existed because I was 12 years old.
Yeah. But you're not it's not like a common courtesy at that point that you have to be like, spoiler.
If I wanted to, let's say I've never seen Terminator, and I wanted to see it, I would feel just as bad if you spoiled that as if you had spoiled Ghost in the Shell, which came out like a month ago. You know?
Is this if people go out of their way to spoil it? Like you say, oh, I haven't seen that, but I really want to, and then they tell you all about it?
Well, I'd be pissed
or
at
like
that
they've
no
been
matter what.
telling you about it, and you're like, oh, I wanted to see that.
Yeah, like
why didn't you tell us?
Speaking of the Terminator thing, like maybe somebody's mentioning time travel theories, and they reference
if someone's
the ending
going out of their way to spoil it, I'd be pissed off no matter what it is, how old it is, or what it was. If there's context to know that, like, they're talking about Terminator, I wouldn't feel as bad if I didn't speak up. But if it was like some Rick and Morty kind of time travel analysis of Back to the Future, and let's assume I never saw Back to the Future, I'd still probably feel pretty bad if I wanted to see it and they spoiled it. I mean, it's not like I wouldn't expect it to be out there and spoilable, but, like, I'd still feel kind of bad.
And in that case, you know, like, I might feel a little bad that I spoiled it for you unintentionally, you know, by accident, in that case, with something that's older. Like, I'm not saying it's infallible, I'm just saying I'm not going to be as mad if somebody spoils something that's, like, 50 years old that I wanted to see, but they didn't know that I wanted to see, and they actually spoiled it a little. I'm not going to get mad. I agree with you. I'd probably feel a little bit like, oh, I would have liked to not have that surprise room, but whatever. But I'm going to say it doesn't have the same timestamp for anger and disappointment if somebody's, like, say, like, walking out of the theater and as you're about to go in and reveals the ending to that movie. You know what I mean? Or people that purposely, if they know you're, like, say, like, I haven't seen this movie, and the person's like, well, don't bother, the ending sucks, this is what happens. I'm going to be a lot more mad at that, so. I kind of get that a little bit. But yeah, what did you think of The Bride of Frankenstein and... not The Bride of Frankenstein, because you said you thought it was stupid. What did you think of Frankenstein? Have you read the novel?
No.
No?
No.
Would you, after watching Frankenstein?
That speaks more to I don't like to read.
Oh, okay. Would you recommend Frankenstein to anybody?
Yeah, I mean, if you like classic movies, Frankenstein was pretty good. The Bride of Frankenstein wasn't too bad either, it's just the ending was so ridiculously stupid. Like,
no, I've never read The Bride of Frankenstein. I don't even know if there's not. I've read Frankenstein, but I wonder if it was just a movie that decided to reveal her at the end instead of, like, actually throughout the movie. Because I wouldn't put it past somebody even that far back changing stuff from the novel to the movie.
So okay, there's Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, and that's the original, and that's the only novel. They had a, like, cavalcade of fucking movies come out after the original one that was based on the novel, and even the little bit of commentary we saw, because we watched it on what was it, the Mrs. TMN?
TCN. No, it's TCM. Turner Classic Movies.
Yeah, so they give a little commentary in between, and with The Bride of Frankenstein, they were saying that they kind of moved the character away from his stoic angriness and, like, gave him too much character when they created Bride of Frankenstein. But there was no template for Bride of Frankenstein because it wasn't a book.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see people having complaints about him having too much character. That being said, there are a couple movies out there with Frankenstein that I didn't mind, like Van Helsing. I actually didn't mind that he had a bit of character.
Van Helsing is such a campy film, though.
Oh, I know, but I would have loved to see a sequel to it. I would have loved to.
Yeah, hold on a second.
I like the video game. So, to keep on, we've talked about movies. We've talked about our tech news, and we've talked about our video games, but we haven't hit our main topic yet of board games.
Board games.
I think it would be fair to probably start off with the two people that play board games the most, and that would be you, Jukebox, and the Misses. So you guys play board games pretty decent amount. Okay. You guys have a pretty good collection of board games at home.
Well, at our parents' place, I guess we could say, we have a pretty big stack of older board games that were kind of already there before us. So we have like Clue, Arcade Mania, Checkers. I don't think I can remember any others, but like the board games that I have bought to kind of add to the collection have all been through secondhand stores. Mostly because I have a hard time justifying like a $60 price for a new board game when I play it like twice.
Yeah, I can't blame you for that. Like, I would love. There's a bunch of board games I'd love to buy, but then I'm like, holy shit.
What?
Well, that's what I mean. Like the price. I look at the price. I'm $60, and I'm used to like. I bought my special edition Monopoly for Phantom Menace. I had like a 3D board to it, and all those different little cards, and that thing was I think only $30 brand new.
Hashtag
but I want to go
inflation.
buy like the new, and then I go to try to buy the Firefly, one of the Firefly board games, and it's one of those expansion ones similar to Zombies, and kind of similar to the. Anyways, it's a decent game. That one was like
you're cutting out constantly.
Oh, sorry. It was like constantly. It was something like $120, and I'm like. I would love to play the game, but not for $120. I can go buy a video game or two for that.
So, I've added maybe 4 or 5 board games to what we already owned since I started buying them secondhand and stuff. And I'd have to say my favorite might actually be the most recent, which is Zombies. And we've played that a few times as a group. The premise of the game is you have tiles that you lay out, and you put zombies in them, and then tokens. You use the tokens to fight the zombies. They kind of count as your health. And what you want to do is gather as many zombies as you can and save as many people as you can while moving throughout these tiles.
Yeah.
One of the biggest draws of Zombies is that there is a base set, so like Zombies 1 pretty much, and then there's, I think, 19 expansions. And the expansions range from just adding cards, because the game does have cards for special abilities when fighting zombies and stuff, to being entirely new tile sets. So the one I have is expansion number 11, Death Inc., like Death Incorporated.
Yeah.
And in that one, instead of just saving random people, you save the directors. And the point is to save as many directors to become CEO, get your promotion or whatever. And you can play it in conjunction with the original Zombies. You literally just build off of that board. So if you had all of the expansions, you could have a set that pretty much spans the entirety of like your living room floor. Or like the
might
entirety
even run
of a
out of
bed.
space, man.
Yeah.
You might even run out of space. I saw a few of them set up and with the expansions. They take up a lot of room if you put them all together.
Yeah. So you can kind of make it as big as you want. But it's a lot of fun. I definitely recommend it. And because the expansions can be played as standalone games, if you don't want to pay the full price for the original or you're more interested in a particular one, you can get the expansions and play them by themselves like we do with Death Incorporated. And I think that's pretty great. It'd be a real shame if you had to like get the base game and then get the expansions and only
you don't
be able
have
to play them
play
with the base set.
You know what would be a draw for me with that is traveling. Like, say if I didn't want to bring the whole box, like the big box for the main edition, you can grab one of the expansions and just bring it with you on a trip and just play it, and it'd take up less space. Oh. It's not like one of those games where you have to build. Yeah, you have to build up. You can't just, you know what I mean? Like to me, like expansions is like you have to have every previous expansion to play that current expansion.
Yeah, that blows.
Yeah.
There's something else if you have kids and you still want to play this kind of game. There is a PG edition, and then there's a junior edition.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's a little less gory, I'm guessing.
More or less, yeah.
It's usually where the ratings come from.
So that's my current favorite. How about we go to the misses?
I think my favorite is called Duck Soup. It's a board game that it was on, what's it called? Dragon's Den. And I got a copy at Chapters. It's like a restaurant trivia game. The goal is to trade out all your amateur staff for like top staff.
Okay.
And you have to answer the trivia questions, and they'll take away points for certain things. I kind of like it because I like food.
Have you guys played that game with Scufflewick?
Yeah.
Yes, we
Okay,
have.
because I remember at one games night you had recommended playing that, and Scufflewick was trying to explain the rules to me, and I don't know if it's the game or if it's just Scufflewick, but it sounded ridiculously complicated.
It's not. It sounds when you're explaining the rules, but once you play like a couple like once through, you're like, oh, this is a lot simpler. It's just the instructions they give. If I had to give that thing one negative thing, is that the instructions are overly complicated for what you're actually doing.
Okay, so is it actually complicated, or was it just Scufflewick being a ding dong?
It's just not that complicated.
Yeah, it's just Scufflewick being a ding dong.
Okay, that's nothing new then.
Yeah.
Because the game
honestly,
looked cool.
my thing.
Like, I only kind of got to glimpse at it a little bit, and it looked pretty neat.
Mm-hmm.
And you learn things from it. That's the thing. The only hard thing about the game is that there's a quiz aspect to it involving food. So, if you suck at if you don't know anything about food, you're kind of like screwed. No, yeah. And I'll leave the missus to talk about it because I have to go downstairs to grab something. I'll be back.
Okay.
See.
I kept hearing buzzing and stuff.
You have a game at home that I always want to play, but I never want to play.
Which one's that?
You bought Jumanji?
Oh, yeah.
And I want to play it, but then at the same time, I may have been a little bit scarred from the movie. So.
Yeah, I think I got that back in 2012 because I think I was still in high school, and I still haven't even played it. I think everyone's just horrified.
I don't need no hunter jumping out of the game.
Stampede of elephants through the living room.
Yeah.
No.
I have a Sailor Moon game at home.
Yeah.
I don't remember how you play it, but it's kind of like...
something Negaverse.
Yeah.
I don't know how to play it either, but yeah, I found a Pokemon board game that looks almost identical. So I assume if I figure out how to play one, I'll be able to play both.
Yeah.
Because, my girlfriend, she loves Sailor Moon, so she always wants to play that board game, and we're just like, Just nervous laughter, no.
So, my favorite current board game to play is Lock and Key, the game. It's based off the comic book of the same name, Lock and Key. The point of the game is it's a deck building game, sort of, and you get scenario cards, and you play your cards that are based off aspects of the comic book to defeat each scenario, and that's kind of how it goes. It can play quite a few number of people. It's actually really fun and well designed, and the graphics on it are actually quite entertaining as well. There's even holographic cards in it, so
nifty.
Yeah, I really liked it.
I'm pretty sure I remember when you got that game.
Yeah, because you were there. I think when I bought it at
I think so.
Warp. Yeah, it was either I think it was Warp 1 when I bought it.
Yeah.
where I bought it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you got it from the comic store near you.
But that's probably my current favorite game to play. I don't know if I would call Cards Against Humanity a board game, but that's my other one, and everybody knows how that one works.
Yes.
I would say my honorable mention, my favorite one of all time though, would probably be Scrabble.
Really?
I love Scrabble. Yeah, I love Scrabble.
I
He
think
cheats at Scrabble.
I imagine.
I do not.
You do.
Hey! If it matter, I never had the whole. When I started playing Scrabble as a kid, there was not this Scrabble dictionary. You just use the Webster's dictionary, and that's where I draw all my words from. If you're playing with me, we pull out the Webster's dictionary, which has more words in it than the official Scrabble dictionary.
I vote on Scrabble Dictionary.
So it's such a small selection of words.
Oh god, like 8 million is so small.
Okay, you know. I need more.
Let me just look up the Scrabble Dictionary online, see how many there are. Oh, look at that. It was originally published in 1978, before you were even born.
Well, nobody ever pulled it out. None of them ever came with it, and we always just used the Webster's.
What fucking kid owns a Scrabble dictionary?
It's online.
Well,
she also complains if... And she complains if they have a tool. If you use the online dictionary, there's a tool that you just type on their own site, that you just type in the letters that you have, and it'll tell you which words you can use.
That is also cheating.
So, how's this? The Official Scrabble Player's Dictionary, 5th edition, by Merriam-Webster. The fucking dictionary company you mentioned makes the Scrabble book.
Hey, there's not the same words in there as there is in the Webster's dictionary.
They do that on purpose.
No. I like pulling out my non-layman's term words from from school, and those are in the Webster's dictionary. They're the words I know the best. So, but it's still my favorite game, and me and my one auntie used to get really competitive about it. So, but probably the only board game I ever really get competitive about is Scrabble. My family even has one of those big turnstile ones where it has like the drawer underneath of it, and you can pull it out and it has all the bits there, and a leather bag for the thing, and then it spins so you can face it to each person as you go along. So I like Scrabble. Now that we're done our main topic though.
What, you're the only one who gets to say an honorable mention?
Okay.
No.
Go for it. Go for it.
Monopoly.
You mean the game your sister hates because the moment she realizes she's losing and won't catch up, she flips the board. And I mean flips the board.
I flipped the board once.
Yeah,
and pieces hit
Monopoly.
No. Oh, so you have flipped it more than once. She also flipped... We have a Doctor Who edition. I bought it. I was like, oh, Doctor Who edition. I brought it home. We pulled it out. Started playing. Your sister started losing in the first 5 minutes of the game, and she's just like, foink, and pieces went flying, hit the roof. And we haven't touched it since.
Well, when she flipped it for me, we were like 13, so whatever, but...
She was 20.
Monopoly's a horrible thing, because whenever we had game nights throughout high school and then just shortly after with my group of friends, is we'd always play Monopoly, and I lost like once out of like 16 games. And then everyone fucking hated Monopoly, and I'm like, okay, I'll just not play. It's like the demon, so
I rarely ever finish the game.
no one's allowed to play with me anymore.
I'd play with you. I never get angry at Monopoly. It's Monopoly.
Yeah. No, I think they all got really tired of losing because I was always winning. Like, it became
make
a
me
thing.
want to win more.
Well, no, seriously, we'd get to a game night and they'd all be like, okay, it's time to beat Jukebox. Everyone try and beat Jukebox. So it would be at the point where no one's trading me anything, no one's paying me, all that other stuff. And I still won. I am the devil of Monopoly. This is... Hit us with your honorable mention.
I don't know if I have an honorable mention.
Come on, there must be a board game that isn't your current favorite, but was your favorite game growing up, or it's the first one that comes to mind other than Monopoly and Scrabble.
I like the Game of Life.
Yeah.
And the actual physical one, or the one that came in the cereal boxes?
Both.
Yeah, so we got the Game of Life. I don't remember, did you get that for like a birthday?
Probably.
I feel like I remember that being a thing. But we got the Game of Life, so we'd play it physically. And we also had the 1998 version out of a cereal box.
Yeah, I'm going to point out that's the best digital version. I own the new digital version, and it sucks.
Yeah, I've been saying this for a super long time because I actually set up my Windows XP computer just so I could play Game of Life 98, because the one that came out in 2013 fucking blows. It's so boring comparatively. They got rid of like the cutscenes and the funny people, and when you move on the board it's boring and stationary. It's just bleh.
Now it's Hasbro that makes that, right?
Yeah, they always have.
Yeah. If anybody from Hasbro ever hears this, I'm going to put all you had to do to update the 98 edition is just update the graphics. You could keep all the same animations and you could have just updated the graphics.
Yeah, just add a couple more polygons.
And done. You didn't have to fucking rebuild the game. And fuck it up.
I don't know, I just remember being really young. Both me and the missus would play it pretty frequently. The computer version.
I used to play it a lot too. Me and my not Scufflewick, but somebody who has the same actual name as him that we grew up with. I don't want to use what we used to call him because that'd be. Anyways, yes. So a friend I grew up with, we used to play it quite a bit. Probably at least when we first got it, we probably played it like 3 times a night, and then we go play some other video games.
Nice.
For like a couple of years. So we like that one too. That's the 98 edition of that thing was just.
We wholeheartedly recommend everything that we've mentioned.
Oh yeah.
And I think we should wrap this up because I gotta go.
Yep. I only want to say one thing other than our goodbyes. I just saw a funny computer game related quote from that was on a T-shirt. Computer games don't affect kids. I mean, if Pac-Man affected us as kids, we'd all be running around in darkened rooms, munching magic pills and listening to repetitive music. I thought that was a funny quote.
I think I've seen that shirt.
I'll mention that next week's podcast will most likely be us talking about our favorite toys growing up and comparing them to new ones.
Ooh.
Yeah. And Jukebox, do you have any questions to leave our viewers with to answer in the comments?
Yeah.
Or email us?
Let us know in the comments or on our social media, what is your favorite board game? And if you want to get a little more in depth, tell us why.
And if you do, we'll mention it next time.
Yeah. Something else we'll mention is if you give us a 5-star review on iTunes, we'll read it during the show. That's right.
Yep.
We're on iTunes. We're also on Google Play Music for those of you with Android devices. And for anyone who's old school and does RSS feeds, we definitely have that too. All links in the description.
You guys now have no excuse not to watch us if you about formats at least. I can't say about the quality of our show, but you can't say, well, I listen to it only on this format. We have it on pretty much everything now. Except SoundCloud, because SoundCloud doesn't work so well for podcasts.
SoundCloud can, suck my dick. But you can listen to it on computer anyways through YouTube or RSS feed or iTunes or Google. Literally all. You're on a computer.
Yeah. You can bring us with you. You can exercise while listening. You can sleep while listening to us. My wife does that.
I did it once.
12 minutes is up.
Yep. We're going to wrap this up, so have a good day, everybody.
Yeah, farewell.
Bye.
And the prettiest one, actually, is here today. That'd be the missus.
Yep.
Anyways, bye. I'll send you the recording right away, okay?
Okay, I gotta go pick up. I'll talk to you
Say hello
guys
to Becky.
later.
Yeah, talk to us
Bye.
later. Bye.
Bye.
Remember, if you liked what you heard today, please remember to subscribe and like the video. And if you would like to hear anything particular, don't forget to comment down below. Thank you and have a nice day.